Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And before we get started with this video, I just want to apologize. I have a big ass dent on my forehead right here that's not ready to pop yet, so please just ignore that. I know it's distracting. I hate it. Okay, moving on. So for today's video, I am going to be ranting about the Halloween 2018 timeline.
Teach me about fucking style.
Okay, so like I said, this video will be a rant, so it's going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be a ranking video or a movie review. I'm just going to be ranting because I have a lot to say that I've needed to get off my chest for a while. So yeah, also I just want to preference this by saying obviously I don't mean to offend anyone. We're all going to have different opinions, so please just be nice if you choose to comment. It's okay to disagree, but you know, don't come for me. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be talking about the Halloween 2018 timeline. I'm not just going to be talking about Halloween 2018. I mean, I will be, but I just mean this whole new timeline I'm going to be kind of ranting about. Just because I have a lot to say and I have a lot of feelings, and I have very strong feelings. So again, I don't mean to offend anyone who has a different opinion from me, but I do feel very strongly about, because I love this franchise so much and the characters so much, I have very strong opinions and feelings about things. So yeah, just fair warning. Okay, so where to start? I'm gonna try not to make this video too long, but it'll probably be long because once I get on a rant, I just go. So, okay, I guess we'll kind of talk about Halloween 2, which you're like, that's not in this timeline, but that's what I'm going to talk about, Halloween 2 not being in this timeline, and then we'll get into the whole sibling thing, and then we'll move on to other things. Okay, so I mentioned this, I believe, yeah, I mentioned this in my Halloween 2018 review, and I also want to say, as you guys know, as I've already said before, I love Halloween 2018, the movie itself, I love it. Yeah, I just want to say that, because I might, yeah, I just want to get that out of the way. You guys know already. Okay, so, but you guys know that my main issue with Halloween 2018 was that they did not include Halloween 2 in this new timeline, and I did think that was a mistake. For a few different reasons. One reason, because I honestly think it would have been not better, but how do I say this? Like, it would have added more to Laurie's character if they kept Halloween 2 in this timeline, because she went through so much more that night, you know what I mean? And to say that Halloween 2 never happened, you're basically telling us, okay, she never went through any of that, and because her character suffers so much from PTSD, I feel like it would make more sense if she had went through that, because it would just add more to her trauma, you know what I mean, and add more to her character. Okay, let's get to the sibling thing now, I guess. No, I'll just say this first. I honestly think my main problem with Halloween 2 not being included in this timeline is I just don't believe that Halloween 2 never happened. I just don't believe it. And obviously it's because Halloween 2 takes place directly after the first one, like literally seconds after, like not even a minute after. It takes place directly after the first one. So in my opinion, or in my eyes, like Halloween 2 will always be the one true sequel to Halloween, because I mean, how much more direct of a sequel can you get, you know what I mean? It literally takes place right after the first one. Yeah, and I mean, even though Halloween 2018 technically they're calling it a direct sequel, how direct can you get when it's 40 years later, you know what I mean? I mean, yes, technically it is still a direct sequel, but yeah, you get it. So yeah, I honestly just don't believe that Halloween 2 never happened. It's just not believable enough for me. That's the main problem I have with it. Oh yeah, and I want to say one more thing, keep forgetting some stuff. But one thing I do understand about probably one of the reasons why they chose not to include Halloween 2 is because at the end of Halloween 2, they weren't planning on making any more Halloween movies with Michael Myers in it after Halloween 2. They weren't planning on doing that. That's why Halloween 3 didn't have Michael in it at all. So at the end of Halloween 2, Michael does die. Like, he's dead. He burns in the fire and he dies. So I understand why like, they would have had to explain how he survived that, you know what I mean? And they could have done what, like, in H2O, they don't explain how he survived. They could have just done that, but I feel like it wouldn't have been as believable because in this timeline, they make it pretty clear that he is human, but they make it pretty clear that he's more human than supernatural, at least in this timeline, so that would be kind of hard for them to explain. So that's the one thing I do understand. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Okay, so now let's move into the sibling thing. And why, you guys know I like the sibling storyline, and here's why I think it's important to the franchise. So, you know, David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, you know, they've explained why they got rid of the sequels, like more of the sequels, even Halloween 2, and I'm like, yes, I get it to an extent, but with Halloween 2, it's like, honestly, they just are adamant about, like, they didn't want Michael and Laurie to be siblings anymore. And I'm like, okay. And they say it's because they think that Michael, which a lot of people agree with this, which I don't entirely agree, which is a really unpopular opinion, but anyways, they basically say that Michael is scarier when he's not after his family, when he doesn't have that motivation. He's scarier when he's just a random killer, and he's not after Laurie because she's his sister. And I'm like, I get that to an extent, but at the same time, it's like, I don't feel like, just because Michael is Laurie's brother, or at least, you know, excluding this timeline, Michael is Laurie's brother, that doesn't make him any less scary, in my opinion, you know what I mean? Like, he's still a killer, he still kills random people because he's a killer, but he still does have that motivation to kill Laurie because he's his sister in the past movies, besides Halloween 2018. And I don't see a problem with that, honestly. I don't think he's any less scary when Laurie is his sister and he wants to kill her because he's his sister. Like, that makes perfect sense. To me, at least. And it's like, well, obviously he still wants to kill other people because he's just a killer and that's who he is, you know what I mean? I know that's like an extremely unpopular opinion because the majority, or at least I feel like the majority of Halloween fans, like, they actually really like that they didn't include the sibling storyline in Halloween 2018 because they think it makes Michael scarier somehow because he doesn't have a motive technically, or does he? Which we'll get into. But I'm like, I guess, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't really agree with that. Which again, I know is a really unpopular opinion, so don't attack me in the comments. And yeah, that's the thing. So like, kind of going off of that. So because they're not siblings in this timeline, I think it kind of confuses me on whether Michael is still actually after Laurie, or whether he's not at all. And I know a lot of people have debated this, since they're not siblings anymore, a lot of people have debated this about Halloween 2018, like, well, is he even still after Laurie at all? And a lot of people seem to think he's just not after her at all, and he just happened to, you know, cross paths with Laurie coincidentally in Halloween 2018. I don't believe that. Okay, here's what I think. I do think that he still is after Laurie in 2018, and the reason why I say that is because a lot of people are like, oh, he probably forgot about her. He probably doesn't even remember 40 years ago. I'm like, why wouldn't he? You know what I mean? Like, just because he's a psychopath doesn't automatically mean that he just forgets things. And yes, it was 40 years ago, but I mean, why would he not remember that night? You know what I mean? Like, why would he not? So I do believe he remembers her, but I don't think that he escaped Smith's Grove specifically to go after Laurie. I think that was part of the reason. I think that he escaped to just kill in general because he was ready to kill again. I do, like, obviously, he escaped because he just wanted to kill anyone and everyone. I do believe that he remembers Laurie, and that once he realized that she was alive, he was like, oh yeah, I want to kill her. You know what I mean? So I do believe that he remembers her. And this is actually confirmed, which I don't like that they took this out. In one of the trailers, I don't remember which trailer it was. I don't remember if it was the international trailer or what, but it wasn't the main trailer that came out. It was one of the other ones. But anyways, in that trailer, when, at the beginning of the movie, when Aaron holds the mask up, you know, he's trying to get Michael to say something, he literally says in the trailer, do you remember Laurie Strode? And then it kind of zooms into Michael, like, clenching his fist. But they took that out of the movie. If I can find the clip of that trailer, I'll put it in here.
Michael, I have something you might like to see. Do you remember Laurie Strode?
So I'm like, why would you take that out? Because then it would end this whole debate, you know what I mean? That confirms that he does remember her and he does still want to kill her. And so many people think that he doesn't. And that literally confirms that he does. And so I'm confused on why they took that out of the movie. So kind of extending upon that, I'm like, I kind of think they, and by they I mean Dave Gordon Green and Danny McBride, and nothing against them, obviously. I'm just saying I kind of think that they want to have their cake and eat it too. And what I mean by that is, I think they don't want Michael to have any motive at all. They just want him to be a motiveless killer, because in their mind, at least, they believe he's scarier that way. But at the same time, they still want him to be going after Laurie, because they still want that collision between Michael and Laurie. So I feel like, it's like, which way do you want it? You know what I mean? Do you want him to be completely motiveless and not care about Laurie at all and not even want to go after her? Or do you want him to still be going after Laurie but be like, oh no, he's still a motiveless killer. He still kills randomly, and he does still kill people randomly, but he is after Laurie because she got away 40 years ago. And that's what I believe, but I feel like they're kind of like, and maybe this we'll figure out more on Halloween Kills. What I'm trying to say is, I can't tell if they want Michael to be going after Laurie or not, and I don't even know if they know what they want, you know what I mean? Because I feel like they're like, oh, you know, Michael's just motiveless. He doesn't give a shit about Laurie at all. Like, he wants to kill her just like he wants to kill everyone else, but he doesn't have agenda against her because he got away 40 years ago, like, he just doesn't care. Or, so is it that, or does he care? And he does really want to kill her because she got away 40 years ago. I personally believe the second option, but I don't even know if they know what they want. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. So, yeah, because in my mind, it does make sense. A lot of people say it doesn't make sense. I'm like, why does it not make sense that he wouldn't want to kill her more than the average person? Because she's the only person that has ever survived him, so far, at least. You know what I mean? Like, literally anyone else who he's tried to kill, he's successfully killed. And I'm talking about in this timeline, obviously, because in this new timeline, it's just the original Halloween 2018, and soon to be Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. So in this timeline, Laurie is the only person who has ever gone away from him who he's tried to kill. So I feel like, yeah, he definitely remembered that, you know what I mean? And he would definitely want to kill her more than just killing a random person because she got away and no one gets away from him. Yeah, hope that makes sense. So yeah, those are just my main issues with it, because for all the reasons I explained. Okay, so I want to talk about Allison now. Okay, so as I mentioned in my Halloween 2018 review, I really like Allison. I like her character. I just don't think that she had enough to do in Halloween 2018. Like, she had a little moment at the very end, but besides that, she didn't really have much to do. But I do really like the relationship they established between her and Laurie, because you can tell in the movie, even though her and Laurie are estranged, because Karen and Laurie don't really have a relationship, so Allison's kind of caught in the middle. I like how they showed that she is more sympathetic towards Laurie than Karen is. So I really enjoyed their relationship. But a lot of people keep calling Allison the new Laurie Strode, and I'm like, no. Like, I get what they're saying in principle, like, because I'm pretty sure where they're going with this new timeline with Kills and Ends is they're gonna make Allison the new final girl, so, like, she's gonna be the one to survive Halloween Ends, which I think is gonna happen. I'm like, yes, in this timeline she is the new final girl, but stop calling her the new Laurie Strode. I feel like that's just unnecessary, and there's only one Laurie Strode, period, and there's never going to be another one. Like, Laurie is Laurie, you know what I mean? No one will ever replace her. I get what they're saying in principle, like I said. They're just calling her the new Laurie Strode because she's the new final girl of this current timeline. And I'm like, yes, I understand that, and she is Laurie's granddaughter, but she's not Lori. You know what I mean? And she doesn't want to be Lori. She's her own person. She's her own final girl. You know what I mean? That just really irks me. Because I just see, like, a lot of people saying that, like, she's the new Laurie Strode. Like, no, she's not. But like I said, I love Allison. This isn't anything against Allison. Oh yeah, and a lot of people are thinking that Allison is going to be the one to, like, this is kind of getting into predictions, but I don't really want to, okay. I'll try to tame this as much as possible. A lot of people think that, like, Allison is going to be the one to, like, have the final battle with Michael on Halloween Ends and not Lori, and she's going to be the one to kill him, and I'm like, then what would Lori be doing? Like, Lori is not dying in Halloween Kills. Hate to break it to you, all those people out there who wanted her to. Okay, your opinion aside, even if you don't like Laurie Strode, which, how do you not like Laurie Strode? But anyways, if you're one of those people that wants her to die in Halloween Kills, if you think about it logically, that literally makes absolutely no sense to the narrative of the story they're trying to tell. You know what I mean? Like, that literally makes no sense. If she survived Halloween 2018, then she's not gonna die in Halloween Kills. It literally makes no sense at all. Because I think, at least, they do still want to have, like, the actual final battle at the end of Halloween Ends between Michael and Lori. And Allison will be involved somehow. I don't exactly know how. I don't know how, obviously, but Allison will be involved somehow in the final battle, probably, or, like, leading up to the final battle, you know what I mean? But I just really think that at the very end of Halloween Ends, it should be between Michael and Lori, and they should die together, because it just makes complete sense to the narrative of the story. Because even going back, even not including Halloween 2 or any of the other sequels, even with them not being related, go all the way back to the original Halloween. Like, you know, when the teacher's talking about fate and Lori's sitting in the classroom, the teacher's talking about fate, and she looks at the window and sees Michael. Well, that was saying something. You know what I mean? Even if they didn't realize how big it would be now. But it's not a coincidence that, you know, the whole fate thing on the poster for Halloween 2018, it literally says face your fate. Like, the whole slogan was face your fate, because it's about fate. And it all goes back to Michael and Lori. Like I said, you don't even have to include Halloween 2 for it to be about Michael and Lori. You could just go back to the original, and the whole fate thing. So, yeah. But that's just my opinion. I know we kind of got into predictions a little bit, which I didn't really plan on doing. But, yeah, I just needed to rant and get all of that off my chest. Like I said, if you don't agree with what I said, no need to attack me. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. Those are my main points I wanted to rant about. Hopefully I got my point across. Alright, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on my notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye.